Most of us have experienced a coincidence at some point in our lives. Something that has happened which closely coincides with a past event, person, date, or pretty much anything you can think of. They happen all the time. Some are slight, some are pretty amazing, but they are all unexpected events which often leave us in awe. But what about the really big coincidences, the utterly inexplicable events that leave us dumbstruck and wondering about the true workings of the universe? I'll be concentrating on some of those in this video, more specifically coincidences that have occurred in photographs, unsuspecting snapshots or family photographs that would later reveal long-held secrets. Have you ever been in a relationship and wondered if you and your partner have ever crossed paths before? Maybe when you were children without even knowing it? Well, that's exactly what happened to Nick Wheeler and Amy Maiden. The discovery was made whilst they were preparing for their wedding day in 2014. The couple were visiting Nick's grandparents in Kent, England, the town in which Nick grew up in. An old photo album was presented to the couple and they began flicking through the old pictures. As they looked through old photographs of a family holiday in Mousehole, Cornwall, the pair realised that a photo taken by Nick's grandfather in 1994 showed the 6-year-old Nick posing on a beach with his sister and 2 cousins. But in the background sat a 5-year-old Amy, who was also enjoying a day out with her family, just yards away from her future husband. At the time, they didn't even notice each other, but the pair finally met 11 years later in 2005 whilst at sixth form college in the Cornish town of Truro. Nick, now a soldier, and Amy, now a teacher, tied the knot in 2014, 20 years after their chance near encounter. They honeymooned in Florida, which by sheer coincidence takes us to our next staggeringly similar case. In 1995, a 20-year-old woman by the name of Donna moved from Long Island, New York to Florida, where she worked at the Boca Raton Hotel. There she met a young man by the name of Alex Fautsinas. The 18-year-old Alex was originally from Montreal, Canada, but had migrated to Florida with his family in 1987 when he was 10. The two fell in love, dated for 6 years and were finally engaged. But the happy couple was soon to find out that 15 years before they met, and over 2 decades before their engagement, they had a near brush with one another whilst on holiday with their respective families. This photo was taken in Disney World, Florida, back in 1980. To the right of the picture is Donna as a 5-year-old girl. She is photographed here with her siblings, next to the Peter Pan character, Mr. Smee. But let's take a closer look. In the background, over Mr. Smee's right shoulder, is a 3-year-old Alex being pushed along in a buggy down Disney World's Main Street by his father. The revelation of the close encounter didn't present itself to Alex and Donna until days before their wedding. The unsuspecting pair discovered the snapshot in a pile of family pictures. Both families were amazed at the discovery and began looking through other photos taken from the same trip. Alex said of the discovery, "It blew our minds when we realised." In order to clarify the story to themselves, Alex's mother immediately pulled out other photographs from the same trip and saw that Alex's father was wearing the exact same shirt as the one which appeared in Donna's family picture. Now, a copy of the picture takes pride of place on the wall of Donna and Alex's home in Boynton Beach, Florida, but the original print resides in a locked safe in the home of Alex's parents. Alex and Donna didn't go to the press with their story, but the two joined Facebook around 2010, and the world finally caught wind of the coincidence when they shared the unlikely story with friends online. The fact that Alex and Donna lived over 400 miles apart and in different highly populated countries when the 1980 photograph was taken really puts our previous case in the shade. However, it still has its naysayers. The website metabunk.org tried to debunk the Florida story by saying the odds were no less likely than someone winning the lottery. Well, that's still pretty unlikely in my book, so I call this one a hell of a coincidence. In 2007, a man named Michael Dick from Bow, London, who had not seen his daughter Lisa ever since he separated from his wife a decade earlier, decided to try and track down his long-lost daughter after years of uncertainty. He travelled to Sudbury in Suffolk, England, where he knew she had moved with her mother after the divorce. He took his other younger daughters, Samantha and Shannon, along with him, and contacted local newspaper the Suffolk Free Press to tell them of his intended mission. They agreed to help Michael, and a photographer from the newspaper snapped this shot of Michael and his daughters and promised him it would be published in their next issue. A few days later, after a tip-off from a friend, the now 31-year-old Lisa saw the article and photograph. However, on closer inspection, she also recognised herself and her mother walking away from the camera in the background. She said, "I was completely shocked. Me and my mum had been standing in the exact same place where the picture was taken about a minute earlier, and you can see us in the picture walking away. It is incredible." According to Lisa, only days before the article was printed, she had told a friend that she was going to attempt to make contact with her estranged father. So maybe there was a degree of telepathy involved, or maybe it was just a sheer coincidence. What's more amazing about this story is that Lisa had only been visiting her mother in Sudbury on the day the photograph was taken, and in fact she now lived in Colchester, Essex, which is 15 miles away from Sudbury. After learning of the brush with his long-lost daughter, Michael admitted that he thought it was a joke at first, but when Lisa contacted him, the reality of the coincidence made them both promise they would never lose contact again. Lisa also explained to Michael that he was now a grandfather of 3 children. Now, I did question this next case, as I wasn't sure how genuine it was. I couldn't find a definite source, so it's possible it may be fabricated. However, it does come with a photograph, and if the backstory is true, it's just as amazing, if not more so, than the other stories on our list. A young woman by the name of Naomi Zawadi from Houston, Texas, claimed that a high school friend of hers once asked her if she had ever been to London, England. Naomi explained to her friend that she had been there twice, once when she was 5 years old and again more recently. Her friend explained that he had been looking through old photographs from his childhood and found one of him taken in Trafalgar Square. He went on to say that there was also a little girl in the picture with him, a girl who looked very much like Naomi. Unsurprisingly, they both doubted the chances that they had in fact come so close to meeting years before in a foreign country, but she told him to bring the photo into school the next day. When he arrived at school the following day, photograph in hand, they were both amazed to find that the little girl in the picture was in fact Naomi at 5 years old. Her friend, the boy crouching next to her, was 6 at the time and visiting from Texas with his family. Naomi, also on vacation in London, lived in Louisiana at the time the picture was taken, but moved to Texas some 10 years later, which is when she had struck up the friendship with the young man. That's it for another video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you like what I do. I'd like to give a shout out to Creepy Ghost Tales and thank them for the recent acknowledgement on their Facebook page, which you can find here. Why not take a look?